Good evening. Sunday, December 11th, 2022. And welcome to my office in the command center of my little trucking world. So some of you guys that ask, hey, Grumpy, what do you do? Your job's easy. Any fool can do that. And it's like, okay, so my day normally starts around 7:30 in the morning. I get up, take a shower. I'm in my office, which is in my basement, by 8 a.m. But that's on a good day. Most of the time I have brokers calling me at 7:30 in the morning. I have drivers calling me at 7:30 in the morning. And I have a pretty strict rule. Do not call me. I am on the phone all day long for my job. Text me. Because these guys call me, and I've just gotten to the point where I don't even answer the phone anymore, because I used to answer it all the time thinking it was an emergency, because I'd made it quite clear, don't call me, I'm on the phone all day. And they still call me anyway, because they just don't have any respect. Or boundaries. Some truck drivers, they think that you are the only person that they have to deal with, and it's really frustrating to deal with a driver like that. But at any rate, so usually by 8 a.m. I'm checking on everyone's progress and seeing where they're at, seeing where they should be, checking their logbooks to make sure everything is kosher there, and then I'm lining up their next loads for them to load and go from where they're at. Now, if you look at the map over here, I've got 4 drivers showing on this map. I've got one over in the Omaha area, one in the Kansas City area, and I've got this poor slob down here. Holy cow. He got hosed on Friday. I feel so bad for him. So he was supposed to load on Friday and was unable to do it because the machinery that was loading him broke down, and it was a 50-50 blend of something, so they couldn't load him manually. It had to be done computerized. Whatever method that they used, it could not been done manually with like an end dump or something to load up his trailer. And then my guy in Omaha, I'll be looking for him on a load for him coming out Monday. Kansas, my guy's already got a load set up for him going over to Iowa on Monday. And then this truck over here, this truck is actually empty right now. So this truck will have a driver in it right after Christmas. He will be starting. So that's one of our other areas where we have trucks, is in the Visalia, California area. And then, of course, I'm out of North Dakota myself, and we park trucks up here when we need to. But we have 2 Cascadias, Freightliner Cascadias. We have Peterbilt 579, a Peterbilt 389, and a Peterbilt 567. And we're currently looking for a driver for the 567 right now. But at any rate, and then from that point on, my day goes on to finding loads and dealing with brokers throughout the day. And you would think that would not take much time, but it does. It takes a long time to find just the right load. Here's California example. So there's 5 loads in the whole state of California. There's 5 listings. They say 45 loads, but there's only 5 listings. If I take this McFarland Visalia off of there, because that load only comes out once a week, and that load doesn't actually exist right now. I take off the Schaefer load because it doesn't get my driver out of California, and I look at these other 2 loads. I'm immediately going to say, fuck you to U.S. Iron on this one, because they only want to pay $95 a ton to go 1,015 miles. Well, our trucks, we generally load with 50,000 pounds or 25 tons, and that works out to about $2.33 a mile going to Texas, where the loads suck there too. So when you got no loads in a whole state, you are going to get reamed because the broker knows you got no other choices but to give them, you know, all your money, because I'm betting that load pays at least $4 or $5 a mile, and the broker's keeping at least two of that, if not more. But when you look on this map, you see that California says 122 loads, but that's 122 loads bulk total. That's not just top or bottom. Arizona, 18 loads. New Mexico, 35 loads. And I've struggled with my guys this week down here in Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. And there's not been a lot there. It's showing that there's a lot of loads there, but they're grain rates, and they're paying by the bushel, and they're not paying very well at all. All of these loads are just terrible out of here right now. So it hasn't been good. But the dark green areas are generally areas where there's a lot of freight. And Kansas is showing, near 5,000 loads, but they're not paying anything. Or they've been in areas where my guys have not been at. So this last week has been really rough. Normally Oklahoma, Arkansas, these are normally pretty good hot spots, and they have not been. So if I look at Kansas City, when I'm looking at some of these loads, I jumped the wrong way. I jumped to the state of Kansas. So if I look at Kansas City within 100 miles, like say I want this Kansas City to Ogden, Utah, I don't know what it pays, but before I even go to look at that load, I need to see what's in that area. Now, I happen to know that Utah is not a bad place for hopper bottom. There's usually a lot of loads coming out of there. So here's an Ogden to Denver, which is real common. Ogden to Fort Collins. So there's some Canadian loads there. Grantsville, there's usually salt coming out of there from Denver, but it is the weekend. Like this would be a really good load right here, this Grantsville, Utah to Ames, Iowa. I imagine it's road salt. It's some sort of salt because that's what's in Grantsville. So, Nebraska, Ohio. See, these are all good loads to get out of there. I don't know what they pay, but they're usually not too terribly bad. But that's what I'll do when I go to look for a load. It's like, where is it going? Because I don't want to be in this area out here. Utah is not bad. Matter of fact, Utah is way better than Oklahoma or Texas as far as I'm concerned. But that's what I look for is what is at where I'm sending my driver. So then after I work through calling all day, dealing with brokers and all that other horse shit, my day has flown by, and it's usually about 4 or 5 o'clock, and it's like, holy shit, the day is gone already. And that's when I'll start doing invoices and that sort of thing from drivers from their completed loads. And I'll normally work these drivers several loads in advance, so I'm not just calling on, like these drivers right now, I'm not just calling on 4 loads. I'm usually calling on 8 loads throughout the day. So I'm trying to get these guys booked someplace and then a load out of there before those loads disappear where they're going. And so it tends to be a long day. And then, of course, there's invoicing and safety and compliance, a lot of DOT stuff, making sure guys have permits. And yes, you need permits. Connecticut is starting up a permit program, very much like Oregon and New Mexico have right now, but I think it's going to be more expensive. So I'm not looking forward to that, but we never go up toward Connecticut. There are loads up there, but the problem is loads. Let's see. The problem up with this area up here is that the tolls just kill you going across. Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, the tolls are so bad going across there that I try to avoid those because the loads just don't pay good enough to be fucking around up in that area. But anyway, that is a glimpse into normally a very simplistic look at what I do throughout the day. So wherever you're at, if you're watching this on a weekend, I hope your weekend's been good, but I've got to start work back tomorrow, and it's almost 6 p.m. already, so I should be thinking about dinner. You guys take it easy, have fun, and thanks for watching my little rundown of a boring video.